So, once again, South is going to play 3-note trump. And the opening lead is going to be a small club. So it's funny, we talk about the slight contrast here. We talk about, sometimes you want to try and conceal a weakness to your hand so that the opponents don't attack it. Sometimes you go the other route, and you conceal a strength in your hand. Because you want the opponents to keep leading that suit. So on this hand, the opponents are going to lead a club, presumably from length. And at trick 1, you'll play a small club from the dummy, and the jack will appear on your right. Now, as you look at these two hands, and again in no trump, hopefully you're counting your winners and your potential winners. And you could have quite a few here, right? You've got a 5-card diamond suit. Missing only the king, which might be finessable, and then all your diamonds would come in. You've got the top 4 spades, and on this opening lead, you have 2 clubs, right? Club, club, jack. You could win your queen, you'd still have your ace. What are you worried about on this hand?
Hearts.
All right. So this is a good news, bad news, right? Good news, they didn't lead a heart. Bad news, they still could lead a heart if we let them in, right? You might not have to, right?
Yeah, well, King of Diamonds.
Yeah. I mean, you could win the opening lead. You can get to dummy with a spade and run the Queen of Diamonds, right? Now, if East has the King of Diamonds, you have nothing to worry about, right? Because you'll finesse your diamond, you'll repeat if they don't cover, you'll do this until the king appears, and you're home, right? You'll have picked up the diamond suit, you've got 4 top spades, and on the opening lead of a club, you have 2 clubs. You actually would have over tricks, right? However, you have to consider the situation where the diamond finesse loses, right? So what happens if you cover the jack of clubs on opening lead with your queen, and you go to dummy and you take a diamond finesse and it loses to the king?
Then they lead a heart.
Might they switch to a heart, seeing no honors in that suit in the dummy? I mean, why would they do that? Why wouldn't they continue their long suit? Well, their partner doesn't have the ace, right? Let's say they led a club from the king. Let's say it was king 4th or king 5th, something like that. They led a club. If their partner had the ace, they'd play the ace, right?
Right.
So when they produce the jack, they don't have the ace. What card could they have when they produce the jack?
The 10. No, they
The 10. The 10.
Yeah,
The 10.
the 10. No, they can't.
No, they can't have the 10, right?
They would have played the 10.
Because the jack denies the 10, lowest of touching honors.
They could have the queen.
They could have the queen. At least they could have the queen until you show up with it.
Right.
Declare, what do you think about not winning your queen? What do you think about covering the jack with the ace?
Oh.
Don't like
No?
it. Don't like it.
You obviously are going somewhere.
Yeah. Well, we are normally in the habit of winning the trick as cheaply as necessary. And of course, if we had ace, king, queen, it wouldn't make a lick of difference which card we won it with, right? Because they'd all be equals. However, if we win it with the ace, we are
At risk.
we are possibly conceding the king, right? Let me ask you this. If your diamond finesse lost, and remember, that's the only situation that you'd be in danger, right?
Right.
Because you got tricks out the wazoo if the king of diamonds is on side. And you're cashing a whole bunch of winners before the defense ever gets in. If your diamond finesse were to lose, what would you want to happen? Would you want the defense to continue clubs? Or would you want the defense to switch to a heart? Because those are the two most likely things to happen.
Yeah,
They
yes,
continue
yes.
the suit they led,
Yes.
or they attack a suit where you might have a problem, right? You're attacking diamonds, they see good diamonds in dummy. Dummy also has king, jack of spades. They probably aren't seeing a whole lot of future there. So if you give up the lead, I think one of two things is going to happen. They are probably either going to continue the suit they started, or they're going to switch to the suit that looks like the best path for them. So what if you were to win the ace of clubs and the opening leader says, ooh, partner's jack was from jack queen. I have the king. I made the best lead. They're probably thinking, maybe Declare made a mistake. Maybe they should have held up their ace of clubs. They won it too soon. Club, right? Right? So whether they cash the king of clubs and continue, or they play a small one because they think their partner has the queen and they want to get that queen unblocked. If they play a small one, they get a surprise, don't they? You have the queen, and now you win it, and now you run off your diamond winners and your spade winners, and you've not only made the contract, but you've made over tricks. Can you legitimately make this hand if they switch to a heart? No, probably not, right? Then again, if the king of diamonds was offside, the defense was always entitled, even if the best case scenario for you is that the hearts are 4-4 and you could get out for down 1, right? Lose 4 hearts, they play 4 rounds of heart winners with the suit not breaking badly. And then the whole hand is on the king of diamonds, and if it's offside, you don't have 9 tricks. So.
Isn't West likely to have the 10? When he reads the club? I mean, if you took the ace in the first round and finessed and it lost, they lead another club back, you're sitting there with a queen small in your hand.
That's true. Is West more likely to have started with king 10 sitting over your queen? So I think if I'm understanding your question correctly.
Yeah.
All right. So Tom's concern is, well, if I spend the ace at trick 1, is my queen not in trouble?
In big trouble.
It could be, but not if they continue the suit, right?
If they continue it.
Yeah.
I mean, you finesse the diamond.
Yes. What could happen if you do this? They switch to a heart, get into their partner's hand, and their partner plays a club through the queen.
Yeah.
Yes, that could be a spectacular disaster. But remember, one of the benefits of your diamond position is that because of how you are taking the finesse, if the finesse works, you're home, and if the finesse doesn't work, who's on lead? Your left-hand opponent.
Okay.
Yeah. If there were an immediate danger, so let's say the ace of diamonds were in dummy and queen jack 10 were in your hand, and you were having to finesse from your hand. That would be bad, right? At least as far as the club suit's concerned. Never mind the heart suit, which is a problem, all along, right? If the ace of diamonds is in dummy and you are running the queen, jack, etc. from your hand, now if the finesse loses, the danger is your right-hand opponent is on lead, right? And so then you'd be worried of a club back through your queen, And then after they take their clubs, then they switch to hearts and take all their hearts. So, so instead of settling for, down 1, you turn it into like down 4, right? Or something like that.
But we're playing Swiss teams, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly. You made the game or you didn't, right? So, if you were having to take the finesse the other way, I probably wouldn't try the deceptive play in the club suit. I'd probably score my queen and say, you know what? I sure hope that king of diamonds is on side, because I know the heart switch is probably coming. So, totally dependent on the conditions of the hand. I think it's probably worth the risk on this hand to encourage a club continuation.
Yeah.
And if you win the ace at trick 1 and deny the queen, then you could get the defense to go wrong. The other part of this is you might think, well, do I settle for down 1? I mean, sometimes this is a thought at match points, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a hopeless contract and you think some people might be, say, down 2, you might settle for down 1 on occasion if you truly feel like making the game is hopeless. But making the game is not hopeless here. So it's kind of a weird thing, and you wouldn't necessarily consider doing it, unless you thought of there's got to be some compelling reason. So we don't want you routinely winning aces when you can win the trick with a queen. It's not like I want to get you in the habit of doing this, but this may be a more desperate situation, right?
Well, but you need 2 things. You need a compelling situation, and you need to recognize it.
Yes, yes, that's the other part of it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's easy for me.
Oh,
They're
great.
almost all
Yeah.
really desperate situations.
Yeah, but and that happens. But there are other situations where we want to recognize that things like this too. I see this all the time, especially playing with students. The opponents get off to a lead, and I see my partner declaring, and like a 7 or an 8 in dummy is holding the trick, and they look gleeful. Ooh, got a cheap one. And so they just let it hold. But in the process, they blocked the suit because they had something like Queen Doubleton or King Doubleton in their hand, and they didn't get out of their own way. And then and I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking to myself, as dummy, I'm like, partner, you're a little too excited about this 8 holding the trick. You may not want the 8 to hold the trick. You may want to win this in your hand anyhow, right? So and that's why you want to be. Again, you want to be considering the whole hand. It's very easy to get caught up in that, with that tunnel vision of, oh, they let a club into my ace queen. Yay, I have 2 tricks. Now, and remember also, what if they had led from the jack and this person put up the king? Well, that might not work as well, right? Because if this person put up the king, then they theoretically can't hold king queen, right? So the deception wouldn't work there, at least if we trust the partner is playing lowest or touching honors, right? So they might lay the club to the king, and you think, ooh, I've got 2 club winners, I'll be sneaky and I'll duck. I'll play a small one to make it look like I have just an ace 3rd, right? And I'm holding up. They may not fall for that as easily, because they'll be asking, okay, well, why did partner put up the king, And then they might think that you're onto something. Or maybe they're not paying attention at all. So, all right, I have one more case for you. And as the drama builds, we are now going to put you in a slam. Instead of just the old 3-0. And again, this doesn't mean that that you are in a bad slam, or that you have overbid heinously or anything like that.